Hey, Bullet. All right, well, welcome back, everybody. I have had a lot of late afternoons this week, which has not allowed me to get practically any work done. It's just been all random chores by the time I got home from work late. So just got home from work, got a couple hours I can play with. And if you see the sprinkler going behind me, if you watch this video where this was the old barn where I put grass seed down, we've got no rain. Ever since I put grass seed down, put the food plot out, no rain, not a drop. It's not the way it goes. You know, I got 17 inches that one week. It'd been raining a lot of afternoons since, but life can be cruel and mean sometimes. As soon as you plant everything, yeah, no rain at all. All right, so what we're going to be doing today is finally starting to assemble some of the logs on the storm shelter, and I'll show you all that because we've picked up a lot of new subscribers since what had happened here. So I'll do a quick rundown. Today is going to be more about getting the materials together, getting a workstation set up, and we may go ahead and put a couple of the logs together, I'll call them, and I'll explain that in just a minute. So if you're new to the channel, we just had a 4-year-old 30 by 60 pole barn here, and we got hit by a tornado back at the end of March. I was in the camper when it hit. It was nerve-wracking, something I'll never forget, but long story short, it picked the entire barn up, totaled our camper, threw the barn out here, totaled it, and I tore it down and salvaged everything I could out of it. So irony here, or however you want to look at it, I'm actually going to take a lot of the salvageable lumber out of that barn, and I'm going to build a storm shelter. I found some FEMA plans online, or something close to FEMA plans. It's rated very high, higher than any wind load we'll ever see here. And we're just going to build something for a little getaway for protection for potential tornadoes. We've already had more touchdowns since we got hit, not on the property, but I had a friend get hit about 20 miles from me. So it's been a weird year. Mainly what we're going to build a storm shelter for is hurricanes. We're in Florida, it's a hurricane state. But I did want to show y'all, if you watched a couple episodes, I just leveled all this off, put a bunch of grass seed out, and the plan is to make this look just like the yard, because we are about to start on a house over here, and we want to be able to look across our pasture because we're going to put animals out there. So eventually I'm going to be clearing this tree out, etc. But this video is more about the storm shelter, so I won't ramble on about the property stuff. All right, so I'll try to remember to include links at the end of the video to where I got to this point of the project. But you can see where we're at now. That's where I just come from. See the sprinkler running in the background. The house is going to be going over here in between a couple of oak trees that I planted, and I wanted to put the storm shelter close to the house. So I poured this slab a few months ago. It's the first concrete slab I have ever poured in my life. That was a learning experience. Glad I did it. And it's almost completely dried out now. Still see a couple damp spots. I was wetting it there for quite a while, but I finally just letting it do its thing. I've done run underground power out here. So what we're about to start is the basically what I keep calling logs, and probably what I'm going to continue to. It's a log cabin style build here, but it's supposed to be extremely strong. I know you're probably thinking, a wood storm shelter, are you crazy? Well, you don't understand. This is going to be 6-inch thick solid walls. This is not traditional framing. There's going to be no hollow cavities, no sheetrock, nothing like that. It is solid wood, and tied down correctly. This thing has been run through a test facility and is supposedly engineered to 250-mile-an-hour wind loads. Far stronger, probably 100-mile-an-hour stronger than anything we will ever see in the state. So I feel very confident it'll get us through our little EF1, every now and then a rare EF2 tornado, but mainly even category 5 hurricanes is what we got a better chance of getting hit with realistically, and this should get us through that. So today I'm about to hop in the tractor. We're gonna go down and grab some of the 2x6s that I have everywhere from that shelter that got blown down. Like I said, we're going to set up a workstation in the shop, and that's going to be the plan this week. I'm going to come home a lot of afternoons, keep assembling a lot of these logs, and we'll start putting some up as I get quite a few of them made. I hate to come out here and start with non-treated wood, get a lot up, and it get rained on, get wet. So the inside of the shop's about to turn into an assembly line until I get everything kind of ready. And then I'll come out and dedicate a couple of days to assembling all this together out here, cover it with a tarp as needed, until I can get a roof on it. And I think I'm gonna do hardy board siding on it, which is exactly what we're gonna put on the house. I want it to look like a little storage shed out here, not know what the heck it is, and I want it to match the house. So I've rambled on enough. Let's hop in the tractor. Let's go start getting some lumber. All right, this is my first time using my new circular saw, my cordless circular saw, so hopefully this works out pretty well, because I have a lot of cuts to make making these timbers here. So for some reason I cannot find my hand wood saw with all the packing up moving. What a shocker. So that little door jamb saw is just gonna have to work for now. But I went ahead and put one of these together quickly so you can finally see what the heck it is that I'm explaining. So this is an 8-foot timber, and it'll go across one of the 8-foot wide walls back there. And I'll go out there and attach a 2x6 to the concrete and actually anchor bolt it in. Use some Tapcon screws. I'll screw this down into it, and this will start my walls. So you're gonna have one full 8-foot piece. Then you'll have a much shorter piece on this wall. Even though it's an 8-foot wall, you have to minus 4.5 inches on either side, 9 inches total, for the one that's gonna sit inside here. Then I'll build another 8-footer over there that will lay up here on top of this one, and they're all gonna get screwed together. And it's just rinse and repeat at that point. So you can see what I did. You space one of them 1.5 inches up, which makes this groove. And basically what I'm gonna do is replicate this again. You'll slide the next one down on top. It'll be shorter, so you can do basically Lincoln Logs one this way. I'll make one that's the full length of this top lip. It'll slide down over top. It'll get screwed in and laminated and glued together. So I'm using a lot of construction adhesive here to tie everything together, nailing it quite close. And then I'll go back later and put plywood on the outside, plywood on the inside. That's whenever I do my walls, for a total of a 6-inch thick solid wall. Then I'll come back with Simpson strong tie hangers. Once my wall's done on the inside, nail those hangers. They go way up, bunch of nails, and then we'll screw a 3/4 inch deep bolt down into my 8-inch slab concrete to really lock and hold this down. I've got some more ideas how I'm gonna make it even stronger, and I'll try to remember to include down in the description the plans. If you've got a kind of a detailed mind like mine, I want to see the thing, I'll show you the plans that I'm building this off of. They're calling for 2x8s. I've got a pile of 2x6s, so I'm just scaling my lumber down. It'll just take more of them stacked together. So hopefully this makes sense right here. It's just a Lincoln log cabin that's going to get screwed together. Instead of using solid timber, you laminate 2x material together. You weave it every other pattern. So I mean, it should be very strong, very thick, solid walls. Again, you're still getting 3/4 inch ply on the outside, so it can take debris getting thrown at it in very high winds. It'll be locked together solid. And I'm thinking about putting some steel reinforcement in the corners, through the roof, everywhere, which is not even called for in the plans, to make sure these walls don't separate at all. So I spent some really good money on some very high quality screws. I don't know if you've ever seen the 8-inch screws, but these things are pretty nasty. So just envision whenever you have one of these same timbers right here going this direction, another one sitting right here, I'll actually be running 8-inch basically lag screws, lag bolts in, locking everything together. And you'll do this at a bunch of different points. So this thing is going to be tied together with far more than just construction adhesive and nails. It's ultimately going to be getting screwed together with very long, high quality screws. So if you just stumbled across this video expecting to see a one video build of a storm shelter, that's not what this is intended to do. I'll do a lot of videos of just basically a daily farm vlog, if you want to call it that. It's just our country way of living. Storm shelter is one of the things I'm going to work on. The next video or two might be me mowing grass and doing other projects around the property. But this storm shelter is something I've been talking about a while. It started. My plan is, once I get it completely built, to go back and take all the different videos I'm going to make in this series. It'll be a lot of them as I build this, and make one video then that I'll post. Just take bits and pieces of each one. Might do a time lapse and a few other things to kind of make a, just a one video build. But like I said, a lot of the subscribers that watch the channel now already understand the way I do things. So that's the plan over the next probably several weeks, because I'll have to just do a little bit in the afternoons. I'll do a lot of videos of me building all the timbers. Then eventually we'll get out there and start installing those. Have to do a roof, then I have to build a custom door. I've got some metal work to do out there. Eventually I'll get into doing hardy board siding. I've got to wire it. Lots of little things are going to go on into this project. It's going to take a while. Chances are we're going to wind up getting a bad storm before I'm ever done with it. That's just something I'm willing to accept right now. Life is very busy. So hopefully you enjoyed this. To those of y'all that's been watching, waiting for me to start this, I at least wanted to get one of those timbers done today to show you exactly how they're going to look, how they're going to line up, and hopefully that gives you an idea how beefy this structure is going to be. Don't forget, plywood inside and out to another 1.5 inch layer of wood there. These are going to be thick, solid walls. You shouldn't hear much going on outside. I bet they would almost stop a rifle round. Couldn't even come through these walls. I mean, that's just thick, compacted, solid wood. So I feel very confident that if a limb or any debris gets picked up by a bad storm and thrown at it, I don't foresee it going through those walls at all. I've got some, like I said, lots of other designs. I'll try to remember to include a link now to the actual build plans that I'm trying to follow, but I plan on beefing it up even more. I just can't leave well enough alone. That's just the way I've always been. So I'll catch you on the next video. It might be me building a lot more of these timbers, but the yard's getting pretty thick, as you can see behind me. It's about time to mow that. A lot of other little projects going on around the place. The garden's wrapping up, so I'll include just a little bit more of that. Like I always say, I appreciate y'all so much for watching. A lot of exciting projects coming up, a lot of tractor work coming up, and fall will be here before you know it. We'll be back into firewood. So thanks for watching.